in all my class, we always start off with ground rules. Have you got any lecturers that start off with you with ground rules? Yes? No? Okay. The rules is this. We set up a rule that we will both abide on, both yourself and myself, right? So if, for instance, if we say you cannot be late more than 10 minutes, I would not be late for more than 10 minutes. If you say it is okay to be late than 10 minutes, both you and I can be late for 10 minutes. Is it okay? Let's set ground rules. Is it okay? So what rules would you want? Is there any rules that you would want? You know, the whole world would be watching. Through the camera, a lot of people would be watching. So, what rules would you want? Huh? Half hour late. Which means I can also enter before half an hour. Okay, let me put it this way. Every time the camera comes in, they'll need 10 minutes to set up. You saw that they came in 10 minutes late, and they also need 10 minutes to set up, right? Okay, shall we do it this way? After that 10 minutes, you don't come in and out. Because halfway through, there will be disturbances, right? Is it okay? 10, at the most 15 minutes. Nothing beyond that. Then what I also want to do is that, just in case that person has got, for whatever reason, that we should be allowed to vote whether the person come in or not. Is it okay? No, you don't want the opportunity to vote. Yeah. So nothing more than 15 minutes, and if someone were to come in after that, we all can vote. You all can vote in or out. Yes, no? Okay. Yes. Now you know, very frequently a bunch of you would be having a discussion somewhere, either talking about football or some new clothes or some new shoes, or I don't know. What would you want to do? Kick them out? No. Allow them to make noise? No. Then what would you want to do? Huh? What's that? Oh, ask them to buy us food? The whole class. Look, whatever rules we have, we're going to abide by it, okay? Now, if you guys say that's what you want, we shall have that. In the past, what I always do is I said the whole class can vote. If a bunch of guys are talking over there, we'll stop. We vote whether they stay or they leave. Maybe they're having a discussion that's good for us. Then we'll say stay. If they are having a discussion that's talking about football and that we're not interested, we can ask them to leave. What do you think? Or you want them to buy you food? Huh? Buy food. If you do that, it disrupts the class, no? Yeah? You don't mind? Okay, so if a bunch of guys were to make noise, we can vote whether they stay or they leave. Yeah, okay. Mobile phone, on, off, or silent? Silent. What happens if someone's phone goes off? You know, sometimes we forget you're rushing from a class to this class, and then it goes off. What happened? Give one chance. What say, myself included, okay? If my phone ring, yeah, if any of our phone ring, we have to answer it and say, I don't care who it is, I love you. Why not? If the text goes off, you reply, I love you. It could be your mother. No? Let's vote. Those for the rules, put up your hands. The rule says this: if your phone ring, you answer it, because you guys say on silent mode, right? I know it should be on silent mode because your mother could be calling, your girlfriend could be calling, your stockbroker could be calling saying that, hey, you got to sell or you got to buy, right? So, is it not? So if you have an urgent call, we are all adults, you can walk outside and answer the call, but as long as it doesn't disrupt class. Make sense? But if it goes off, it rings, then we say, you answer the phone and says, I love you. No? Good rules? You don't want the rules? You do not? Huh? You know, think about it. Very dangerous. Why? Because your phone goes off all the time, is it? But it's on silent mode. It's okay, right? So that's the whole point. I just need you to put it on silent. I'm not asking you to switch it off. Is it okay? We agree that it's on silent mode, but should you not switch it off, switch it on to silent mode, then if it rings, you have to answer it and say, I love you. It has happened to me. In the middle of the class, my daughter called and I have to say, I love you. And for her, it was like, oh, this is the first time he said this to me. Are we okay with the rules? Yes? Sounds good. If it is a text, you reply back. You cannot say, oh, it's just a text, not a... Yeah? You also reply back saying, I love you.
So what if it's vibrating and it makes noise through vibration?
I think if your phone vibrates and it makes so much noise that it disrupt class, then it's a pretty big phone now. Are we okay with that rules? So after this, I'm going to upload it on time so that we all agree on that rules, okay? Now, do you have class before this? What time? So what time is your class before this? You got 10 to 12, then 12 to 2. Oh, so you're free from 12 to 2. Okay. You got a class from 12 to 2. You got class from 10 to 12 as well? Okay. He may come in saying that he's hungry, he wants to eat. Is it okay? You're not allowed to eat in class?
No, allowed.
You're allowed to eat. Are you allowed to eat and drink in class?
As long as you don't make a mess and clean up.
Brilliant. So, to me, it is okay for you to eat and drink in class. Imagine me talking for 4 hours. I need a drink, right? Make sense? So we can eat, we can drink, as long as I may be one of those that eats like a pig and huh? Yeah, but I could be making so much noise. Or I could be bringing durian or patai and So I think like a cinema, as long as it doesn't interfere with someone else's, it's okay. Are we agreeable? Okay. So we got 4 rules, yeah. The first one is that you can be late at the most 15 minutes. After that, we vote. Okay, in or out. If someone is disrupting class, we then vote in or out. In the past, we have got people being voted out because they were just making too much noise. They're just not helpful anymore. Third one is the phone. If it rings, you answer, I love you. If it's a text, you reply back, I love you. You can eat and drink as long as it doesn't disrupt either through noise or smell, and you got to clean up after that. Is it okay? This is our rules. Okay? Good. Okay, how many of you have looked at the module learning outcome? No. So let's take a look at the module learning outcome. There are 3 learning outcomes. So I'm going to explain what it is, and if it is not clear, ask, okay? The first one says, identify complex engineering challenges that has got business value. Clear, not clear? Identify complex engineering challenges that has got business value. What does that mean? To you, what does it mean? What does it mean to you?
The product selling of the project.
Product what, sorry?
How are you going to manage the product?
How are you going to manage the product after the project? Not quite. What that means is this. This is a real story. The guy plays the guitar. And you know how you tighten the string on the guitar? There's a design that someone designed it long time ago. But there's an issue with that design. Every time you do it, something goes wrong. Okay? Now, he plays it all the time, and he looked at it and said, hey, I could just redesign it slightly. And that slight redesign allows him to have a much better product than what is existing. Okay? That is the ability to identify. I give you another one. You know road tankers that carry petrol, or it could be diesel, it could be RON 95, RON 97, whatever product, right? From the depot to the petrol station, then they offload it into the underground tank. Okay. Very simple stuff. What they do is that they connect the hose to one of the compartments. So every tank has got multiple compartments. Okay. They connect it to the right compartment, connect it to the coupler on the underground tank, pull a lever, the product goes down through. Okay. If they connect product like RON 95 to a diesel, they offload thousands of liters into the underground tank. Product cross-contamination. Okay. So your reaction could be such a simple thing. Just fix this here, fix that there, pull this lever. What could go wrong, right? Make sense? But this learning outcome says this. You have the ability to identify this as a challenge that say, hey, it needs a solution that when I fix it, when I come up with a solution, I'm going to become rich. Make sense? Long time ago, there is no means to communicate long distance, right? So what do they do? Write a piece of note, tie it on a pigeon, let the pigeon fly off onto the other side, right? Yeah? If it's not too far, they'll get a runner and the runner would run, right? Then someone think of a telex. Using Morse code, they send telex. Then after that, they think of a mobile phone, right? And so on and so forth. The ability to identify that, hey, I could fix this, and if I were to fix this, I'll come up with some kind of a solution, then I create value. Make sense? That is LO1. To be able to look at something and say, hey, it needs a solution, I can come up with a solution. When I come up with a solution, there's business value. Are we okay? That's LO1. Only the identification portion, okay? LO2 says this, design system with the aid of design tools and technique which solve complex engineering challenges that has got business value. Complicated words, but what it means is that the first one you identify, the second one you can design a solution to capture it. Take the petrol case, for instance. You could have product cross-contamination. If you can come up with a solution that in such a way that is foolproof, it is not possible for you to offload one wrong product to another one, that's the solution. What is that solution? Are we clear? So the first one, identify. The second one, for you to be able to come up with a solution to capture the value. Clear? If you don't say anything, I'm just going to assume that you know it. Okay. The third one says this, explain the importance of IP rights. You know what is IP? Intellectual property. Okay. As a legal instrument for commercial monopoly. What is monopoly? It's a game. No. What is monopoly? A monopoly is something where I only have the right. You guys cannot do it for whatever reason. Because I'm wearing red, you are not wearing red. Me wearing red, I can do certain things, you cannot. That kind of monopoly, right? So there's this tool called IP rights, intellectual property rights, that I could actually use as a form of monopoly. Okay, we'll talk about that. You guys know about Bloom's level? No? You know what's Bloom's level? Okay. The complexity of your of the LO can be low level, where you just have to know what it is. Level 1, level 2. Level 3, level 4 is you know how to apply it. Yeah? Level 5, level 6 is where you can create things with it. For instance, I teach you circuit theory, I teach you law of thermodynamics, and from those laws you could create a new vessel or a new something else. That is level 5, level 6. Or I give you two pieces of material, studying the properties of material, you can say, this is actually better for this, or whatever the case is. You can actually think at that kind of level. That's level 5, level 6. The last LO3 is at the understand level. You just have to know what it is. You do not need to be able to apply it. Level 1, level 2, LO1 and LO2 is at the very high level. LO1, to be able to identify it, it is at least mid-level, level 3, level 4. The second one, where you design something, you're creating something out of nothing, it is a level 5, level 6. It is a difficult high-level LO. Are we clear? Okay. Next one, I'm going to talk about assessment. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assessment. A lot. The first one, a design proposal. Okay. Second one is a midterm test. Why are you laughing? It's just a midterm test. The midterm test is meant for us to find out where you are and if there's any kind of correction that we need to do so that you don't fail in the end of the semester. Okay? This is to test your understanding. Third one, we say presentation. That presentation is a pitch. You actually pitch your idea or product to a venture capitalist. You guys want to vote? I know you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. Maybe the mic can hear it. Maybe I should split the two of you. So that third one, the presentation, I'll be teaching you a technique called neuromarketing. That neuromarketing technique is a technique where you pitch to someone talking to their psychological side. Our brain is made up of 3 parts, and one of the part is the decision maker. And what we would like you to do is to be able to pitch to someone talking to that decision maker. Okay? So that's that part. Artifact assessment is like your other presentation that you've done in previous semester. You got your design. We're going to test you on the understanding of why you're doing your design in that particular way. Right? Portfolio. You guys have been doing portfolio, right? Essentially the same thing. Write evidences that would support the achievement of your learning outcome. Okay? Then engineering fair. Engineering fair, there's a bunch of rubrics that the judges will come and question you, and that's what you have. Are we okay with this? So, so proposal, there's a mistake here. It's supposed to be week 4. You're supposed to do this in week 4. You're supposed to submit your proposal in week 4. Mid-semester test, we'll see 6 or 7. If we can cover the material in time, it'll be 6. If we cannot cover it in time, it'll be 7. Okay? Then your pitch or your presentation will be semester week 9. And then the last 3 weeks would be your artifact assessment, your portfolio, and your engineering fair. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now. I'm unable to upload the both of these. There was an error on times. Your proposal is a group assessment. Okay? Your midterm test is individual. Your presentation is also group. Your artifact assessment has got both group and individual components. Your portfolio is individual. And your engineering fair is again group again. Okay, it's about 50-50 individual and group. Question? Okay, you guys, okay. Previous semester, people will come and argue with me and say, hey, can we, never mind. Since you're not arguing, we'll leave it as it is. Yes? Yes. Yes, you have to do that. Which one is that? So are you talking about the Tuckman's model?
We have 1 minute which we have to end up, and then we have another one.
The team assessment.
Yeah, we need to do that because we didn't do it. We didn't do it last time, but we did in our last lesson.
Okay, for the interest of the video, you guys have to do 2 things, right? You have to keep meeting minutes. You also have to do team analysis. Okay? Do you know why this is? So you guys familiar with Tuckman's model? Tuckman's model. So I take that to be yeah, maybe. No, okay. Brilliant. I cover a little bit more, and then we'll go through the assumed knowledge. Okay. There is no theme for this semester, right? You're going to learn that innovation is about the creation of value. So whatever projects that you come up with, as long as it creates value, as long as it is an innovation, it's a go. Okay? Are we clear? I'll explain to you what creation of value is as we go along. Now, the team can only, at the most, 5 people, no 6. It is not something I said. This is something EAC would not allow us to do. Okay, you cannot have like 6-man team and then you work on a small little thing and then a lot of you have got nothing to do and then you cannot score well. Is it okay? That's number 1. Minimum 3 people. And if there's, for whatever reason, that you have only 2 people, maybe these only 2 orphan left and nobody else want them, we'll consider. Is it okay? Multidiscipline, which means that every team must have got at least 2 disciplines inside. I know there's not enough EE people, so go grab them as soon as you can. Worst case is CE, are we okay? Budget. Let me stress this again and again. Budget, create your budget. At this point, at this early stage, you have got no idea roughly what you want, but you have got some kind of an idea roughly what you want, right? Come up with some kind of a budget. Get your supervisor to approve it. Okay? I want that piece of paper. So at the end of semester, when you come to me and say, hey, this is the approved budget that my boss has approved, your supervisor has approved, and this is my receipt. Then it's very clear, it's very easy for us to help you with the rebate. Even if the budget is there, every time you want to buy something, go talk to your supervisor first. You do not want to have that kind of disagreement. If there's some changes to the budget, get your boss to your supervisor to endorse on it. Why am I saying this? There was many cases. There's one case where this team of students, they wanted to float a camera somewhere in the air, right? And they were first thinking of a helicopter. They just fly a helicopter. That's an expensive stuff, and it's very dangerous with the blade rotating at high speed. So then they said, we'll buy a balloon, lots of balloon, and let the balloon hold it up. Now, you imagine lots of balloon and the camera is there. The camera will be like going everywhere, right? It's not going to work. So we told the team, don't do it. It's not going to work. They spend a lot of money buying big balloons. A lot of money. It didn't work. So we told them, don't do it. They still spend the money, but they willingly do it at their own expense. So we say, okay, fine. If you are paying it for yourself, go ahead. Okay. Now, so there's another case in the reverse. This team wanted to build a vessel, 2,000 plus ringgit it cost us. And he says, put some water inside, put it under the sun, and you'll produce so much steam that you should be able to propel some turbine. Rubbish, actually. But then the supervisor, for whatever reason, say, yes. So they spent 2,000 plus ringgit because the supervisor says, yes, we paid for it. We paid for a bunch of nothing. Because so it's a way for you to protect yourself. Get the budget done. If you want to buy anything, talk to your supervisor first. And if there's any kind of changes, talk to your supervisor. Get him or her to endorse on your budget. So subsequently, there's no argument. Is it okay? Clear? When you form teams, I know you guys are going to find your own friend one more time. You worked before, or don't want to find them because they were not doing their job before, or things like that. Whatever the case is, find teams where you think you're going to spend you're going to be happy working on a project with this semester. Okay? The first thing you need to do is to come to me and make sure that the project that you're thinking of would meet the learning outcome. If you're thinking of a project where it will not allow you to meet the learning outcome, I'm going to say no. Because otherwise, what is going to happen is that you finish the whole entire project, it doesn't allow you to meet the learning outcome. There's no score for you. You understand what I'm trying to say? So once I say yes, go find a supervisor who is willing to supervise you. Okay? If there is no one willing to supervise you, come back to me again. So usually orphans I will tag. If nobody wants to supervise you, we have got no choice, but someone has to supervise you, right? Now, if there's someone supervising you, I'm your co-supervisor. Why? Not many of my colleagues understand the technique I'll be teaching you. So the process, the design process, you still need to come to me. Okay? So the technical things on the project, you go see your supervisor. It could be some chemical stuff that I'm not familiar with. But the process or the thinking process for the project, you still have to come back to see me. Okay, you can decide not to. It's up to you. I'm available to for your consultation if you need. Are we okay? Okay, a bit short of time, so let's go. Assume knowledge. There are a few things that I really want you guys to know before we get into the details of all this. Avoiding plagiarism. These plagiarism things occur when you take someone else's work as though it is your own. Okay, someone has got certain ideas. You take that idea and then you write it in your report as though it is your own. That's plagiarism. Last semester, there's a student. She copied a huge chunk of text from WIPO, okay, a World IP organization, and at the end of every page, she just referenced where she got it from. That is also illegal. When you write text and then you put reference, it means that the gist, the core essence of this content came from there. But she copied the entire text without quoting it. If you're copying a chunk of text, you have to quote it. Okay? Now the feeling that most of you would have is that I'm saying someone else's work, I'm taking someone else's work in my work. It feels as though I've not done anything, right? But you should look at it like that. If you're quoting someone else's work or you're referring to someone else's work, it is support for your work. Someone is agreeing with me. Am I making sense? So if you do not know how to do referencing or citation, there is this IEEE document. It shows you very clearly how do you do citation format. Okay? After this, I'll upload this on Times, and you can go and look at it. Are we okay with this? Last semester, when the student was caught plagiarizing, she said she was never taught about plagiarism. So she got a very light punishment. So this semester, I mentioned it. So nobody can tell me I do not know anything about this. Okay? Agree? Okay. Next one, Tuckman's model. Familiar with this? Are we familiar with this? Okay. Tell me about Tuckman's model. Okay. For instance, if you're in a team, right? And the team is very motivated, but they do not know what they are working on. Which state are they at? Forming. Forming? How do you tell? So you see the way I've drawn this. On the right of this axis, which means the forming and the performing, they are all motivated. Everyone is motivated. But on the left side of that vertical axis, you're not motivated. Above this horizontal axis, you don't have the data and the information. Below that, you have. What do I mean by lacking information or data? You do not know what exactly you need to do for the project. You do not know exactly how to work with each other. So when a team comes together, everyone says, wow, we got a new project, right? So you are excited, you are motivated to work on it. You will only go to a project that you're interested in, right? So you'll be motivated. But you do not know your new friends, how the friends behave. You do not know if the guy is interested in what they're interested in doing. Make sense? So you end up in that forming stage. Are we okay? Now, you don't have to do much. As the project progresses along, you end up in the storming stage. You start realizing, hey, we are lack of information, and then you become demotivated. You're not too sure what exactly you need to do. You are not too sure exactly how to work with the guy next to you. Make sense? Or you do not know that guy doesn't have transport and can only come on certain days or whatever. You end up in the storming stage. A lot of your seniors stays here till the end of the semester because they didn't do anything. Now, the difference between storming and norming is that you are still not motivated, but you have now got more information about the projects as well as working with each other. So one of the things that you need to do coming from here to here in terms of working with each other is team building, getting to know each other better, right? Getting to know more about the projects that you'll be working on. Make sense? So from here to here, you could actually push yourself from here to here by actively working on getting more information about the project, team building, working with each other, learning to work with each other. There is always a lot of fights here, from here to here. It is through that disagreement and the argument that you get to know each other. Okay? So from here, if you know that you're storming and you don't do anything, I do not know about that project, I do not know what needs to be done, you end up staying here. But when you get enough information, you could end up in the norming stage. In the norming stage, the only difference between norming and performing is your motivation. So at that point, all you need to do is to motivate your team to move from norming to performing. Okay? Why we ask you to do your team analysis on a weekly basis or every time you come to meet is that you know what you need to do to push your team through the stages until you're in the performing stage. Okay? And you only have to analyze two things. Are you motivated, not motivated? Do you have the information you want or you don't want? Let me ask you a question. You're in the performing stage. Can you fall backwards? Can you fall back to, say, a norming stage? Can, right? You can. Maybe even project change to some extent that you go back to the storming stage. Okay? Are we all right? Question? Okay. Who taught you guys how to write meeting minutes? Don't know. Okay, never mind. Meeting minutes, whatever information like who attended, how many times, out of how many times, whatever the case is, right? Where it was, what time it was, and what's the topic. Somewhere at the bottom there will be this table, and it has got like 3 columns: an item, the description, and an action. Okay. What you would normally do is that you have got some kind of a numbering so that you could refer to it. And then you have got some kind of a description that says what it is. This action column, if you say info, it is just information passed down to everyone in the team. Let's say this, we are working in a team and there's a reorganization. So I'm giving you the new org chart. I'm just telling you what the new org chart is. Okay, that's just information for everyone. This action column, if I say Alex Tonkin, it means that this item is assigned to Alex. Next meeting minute, I'm going to check, Alex, tell me the progress. Right? This item assigned to Mohammed Faiz. Then I say, I'm just going to say, Mohammed, what's the update for this in the next meeting? Am I clear? A lot of teams last semester did not know how to use this properly. And it was literally no action given to anyone. It's just info. And then you don't score well for your team analysis and your meeting minutes. Are we okay? You would have seen this from Wani last semester. I said everything you say, there must be a basis for it. There must be a basis for it. Did Wani talk to you guys about this? Okay, never mind. Have you seen this? Okay, so what is this? Beep, beep. You notice that this guy always run off the cliff and he or a lot of cartoon. They walk off the cliff and they continue to walk as though there is some ground on it, right? And then when they realize, only then they will fall. Make sense? A lot of us, when we talk something without basis, we talk with conviction as though it is true. Until someone shows us that it's not true, then you realize, okay, deflected, you fall off. What this slide is meant to show is that when you speak with basis and you know the basis of what you're talking about, it's like you're walking on this solid ground. But when you speak or you give proposal where there is no basis, it's like you are walking on the air. At some point when someone shows you that your basis is invalid, you'll fall. Are we okay? Are we clear with this? So essentially, be careful not to walk off the cliff. Now, let me explain to you in another way. Many semesters ago, this team created these 2 containers with a tube in between, right? And that tube has got a couple of holes. The question I asked them is that, why 3 holes? They must be able to tell me, right? Either rate of flow or whatever the case is. Why 3 holes? Why the size of that hole? Why the position of the holes? Everything you do must have a basis. If you don't have basis, you are working in the air. Are we okay? Last one, or second last one. You notice that most of the time when you guys have you're trying to fix something, and the moment you have an idea, aha, you're going to try and build it, right? No, you can't vote. She's not in your class. So the moment you guys have an idea, what you would want to do is that you would tend to say, let's go and build this. Agree? Most of you would do that. Yes, no? Anyone would not do that. What is that? Quiet, you have fallen asleep, or do not know what I'm talking about? Do you guys, the moment you have an idea, we have to fix something and say, okay, the moment you have one idea, you go implement it. Is that how you do things? No? No? How would you do it? How would you do it? Huh? Okay, so you go do more research to find that it will be working before you implement it. Okay, how would you? So in some cases you don't even know, there is no research. It could be something so new that you don't know. What would you do? Prototype. Okay. What I want to share with you, the trapeze, is that when the guy jump off, there's a trust. There's a trust that the guy would catch this person, right? The guy fly off. You have to trust that someone is going to catch you, right? Worst case, there's a safety net. If there's a safety net. So the moment you have an idea, that's like your safety net. The moment you have an idea, worst case, you have an idea. You should go and explore other ideas. And if the other idea is much better, go for the other ideas. Another way of saying it is that you have got a boyfriend or a girlfriend, go explore some other boyfriend, girlfriend, and if the other better boyfriend, girlfriend, go for it, right? There is no such, no? Bad move. Well, in terms of design, the philosophy works in the sense that if you have an idea, it's like a safety net. You already have one. Worst case, you have something that you could use. Okay? Are we okay? Now, if the moment you think of something and you try to implement it, that is first order thinking. You're not thinking deep enough. It's just the first thing that you can think of, and then you are implementing it. Last one, design process. Do you know your design process? Look, it's okay to say, I do not know my design process. Because this semester I'm going to teach you a completely different process from what you have seen before. Do you know your design process? No. It's design thinking. Do you know so are you using ACID as your design process?
Yes.
You are? Okay. What is A? How do you come up with the architecture of your design? See, that's too advanced. Too advanced in the sense that someone who knows how to do it, when you say architecture, okay, fine, I can do it. But for you to do step by steps, you need something more refined. Okay? If you're using ACID, that's fine, you can continue to use it. But if you're using ACID, take a look at what I will be teaching you. Don't block what I'm going to tell you, and try it. Okay? Let me just share a story with you. His name is Roland Teh. We used to teach this in semester 2 many years ago. And when he first learned this, he wanted to work on a project with his uncle's company. So his uncle has got something like a factory. So he took a few of his friends, studied the uncle's operation, and then from there they decided, hey, something is wrong. The uncle could tell, yeah, something is wrong. So then, but they don't know how to fix it. So this bunch of guys came out with, they traced the issue to an Excel spreadsheet. They wrote a macro in the Excel spreadsheet just to clean up the data so that the error subsequently down the road would not happen. The uncle at the end of the semester came to thank us and said that it saved the company 2 million that year. That year alone, 2 million. So I told Roland, I said, Roland, go ask your uncle for a Camry. And I believe his uncle sent him to study in the UK. So about half a year ago, Roland was here to register his sister with the design school. So he insists that he wants to see me. Then what he told me was this. There's one technique that I teach all the time, and he has that book in his bag all the time. It's a bit like rotten books now. And he said when he was in the UK, Roland is a very interesting guy. Whatever you teach him, he's very curious. He'll try it. When he try it, and if it works, he'll use it. If it doesn't work, he will tell you this, can I try something else? So what he did was that he went to study design at Northumbria University. Northumbria University is where the chief designer for Apple, what's his name? Forgotten his name. Anyway, the chief designer for Apple came from Northumbria. And so Roland, what he did was that his teacher taught him, his lecturer taught him certain things. He tried it doesn't work. He said, can I show you something else? And he was showing them the technique he learned in this class. So his lecturer said, oh, gee, you can do that. He said, yeah, simple stuff. Because he could do some of those additional things that he learned from this module, the lecturer actually organized for him to have 1 year internship in the US, paid for. Okay? So in that 1 year in that company, the company said, hey, we always have this challenge. Something isn't working. Fix it for us. So he went through a couple of weeks, maybe even months, and then he gave them a checklist. So the company said, is that all? A checklist. But when they tried the checklist, the error disappeared. Okay? So he should be finishing, he should be finished by now. He should be coming home fairly soon. Okay? So essentially what I'm trying to tell you is that the technique taught is actually, that you'll be learning is actually very useful. Have an open mind and learn it. Okay? There are students, after they have left this module and they go and study someplace else, write to me and say, hey, that thing you were teaching, what is that textbook? And it's too late, right? So you might as well just learn it whilst you are here. Question before, so this is just module introduction, 1 hour. Are we okay? Okay.